With Nikki Haley, the outgoing U.S. ambassador to the United Nations. It was her first interview since she announced that she'll leave her post at the end of the month. We talked about that decision and what her future holds. But I started by asking the ambassador about the Trump administration's response so far to the murder of Washington Post columnist Jamal Khashoggi.
I think we need to have a serious, hard talk with the Saudis to let them know we won't condone this, we won't give you a pass, and don't do this again. And then I think that the administrations have to talk about where we go from here. What I can tell you that's so important is that the Saudis have been our partner in defeating and dealing with Iran. And that has been hugely important.
The president, as you know, has still entertained the possibility that perhaps the Crown Prince wasn't aware, despite his intelligence agency saying otherwise. Some have suggested that it is because reportedly the president's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, and his senior advisor, still maintains a fairly close relationship with the Crown Prince.
In reference to Jared, I mean, those rumors fly all the time. We have relationships with lots of countries, and our goal is to make those relationships better. But when these things happen, we have to step back and never back away from our principles.
In her time at the UN, Haley has had to deal with a host of global hotspots. Her proudest achievement? Tightening sanctions on North Korea and trying to slow their nuclear ambitions.
To be able to pass the strongest sanctions in a generation that brought the world together and brought North Korea to the table was really important.
President Kim has not indicated when or if he plans to dismantle his nuclear capabilities. Has the victory lap been premature?
I mean, Craig, ask any ambassador at the United Nations what it was like when North Korea was testing every other weekend. It was a dangerous situation. The idea that we now have them in a place where they've stopped the testing, the idea that we have them at the table, even if they're going slower, don't ever underestimate how dangerous that could have been.
Let's talk Russia.
Okay.
Friend or foe?
Depends on the day.
You've been more critical, arguably, than any other voice in the administration of Russia.
I'm critical when it's warranted.
What's your chief concern with regards to Russia?
The United States wants a relationship with Russia. But as long as they keep doing the actions that they're doing, they're making it impossible. You can't go poison someone in another country and like they did with the Skripals and get a pass. You can't go and invade Ukraine and think the rest of the world's not going to notice.
You've done a fantastic job, and I want to thank you very much.
When you made your announcement that you were stepping aside, there's a lot of speculation as to why. Why now? It would appear to some that the special counsel's investigation is growing closer to the president. Did you say, maybe this is a good time for me to...
Not at all. I have not had any time to even pay attention to the Mueller investigation.
Not at all.
I have tuned it out. I can't do anything about it. The one thing I've said publicly, and I strongly believe, is I think the investigation, if it's going forward, should go forward. But they need to hurry up for the good of the country. They need to hurry up and let us know what they know.
The president says it's a witch hunt.
We'll find out.
While the world may see a president who speaks off the cuff, Haley says at times it's by design.
Is it true that you use the president's unpredictable rhetoric to our advantage diplomatically?
If I needed to pick up the phone and say, this is what I'm going to do, you know, are you good with this? Or this, we kind of partnered in that. And so he would like ratchet up the rhetoric, and then I'd go back to the ambassadors and say, you know, he's pretty upset. I can't promise you what he's going to do or not, but I can tell you if we do these sanctions, it will keep him from going too far.
So you were playing good cop, bad cop?
I was trying to get the job done. And I got the job done by being truthful, but also by letting him be unpredictable and not showing our cards.
What's the secret to working with this president?
Being honest with myself and being honest with him.
What do you mean being honest with yourself?
To be able to tell him when I think we're going in the right direction or when I think we're going in the wrong direction. And him be willing to listen to that and discuss it. has been hugely helpful.
You're going to be unemployed here in a few weeks. So we decided that we would help you sharpen your interviewing skills. Where would Nikki Haley see herself in the short term, a few years from now? Let's just say 6 years from now. Where do you see yourself? It would be 2024. It's a presidential election year, just so we're clear.
Thanks. I have no idea. I think a lot of people have talked about what I may be doing in the future. But I can promise you, Michael and I have never talked about running for president, what that would look like, anything like that, because our lives have been such a fun surprise. The only decision I've made right now is that I'm looking forward to sleeping in.
And she says she wants to do some binge watching as well. We spent some time talking about her possible successor, Heather Nauert, as well. State Department